this will start soon. And here we go. Alright, so what is in Tiger Castle? The first items. We have an Hypno Helm. That's good equipment for magic, but that's not that great either.
Yeah, unless you plan on, unless we got like maybe a Beastmaster start, that Hypno Helm is basically just good for stats. Or unless one of our runners is really preferential to capture strats, which really hasn't been seen much in the tournament. Can be really powerful though. Hypno Helm, and we've got our first hint, Ifrit's Fire in World 1.
That's a good hint. We also had Equip Ribbon, which can be really, really useful. If we don't get the Frenzer, Equip Ribbon allows you to equip the ribbon, as it says, which is a really good head armor, which gives you immunity against all status ailment. It also allows you to equip the denser gears, which are great if you plan on doing sword dance strat.
And Garlyle on the right side here in the Pirate's Cave picks up an Enhancer. That's a really good sword to have early on, and getting X Zone out of there as well. So if we find Time Mage or Time 6, that's an instant death spell that we can use early on.
That's some really good equipment for the Pirate's Cove. Like, Pirate's Cove is a lower tier reward area, so finding those here is really lucky. And we have our Potions, Elixir, and Phoenix Downs here. So this is Tool.
Yeah, Tool is a common stop on the opening routes. Has quite a few items and a hint, so runners usually will go here to at least get the hint and the items, but there's some shopping to be done as well, and we may see them go into World 2 and go on a little shopping spree with their first tablet shortly after this. Some choose to do bosses, so we'll see how they play this out.
Yeah, Tool is really a good pit stop for the beginning of the seed because it has a lot of items here in the beginner's house, including a monster in a box, which is a tier 9 reward. And that's a Holy Spear and two-handed ability. Wow. So if we get a Dragoon or Equipped Spear, that is a really powerful weapon, especially against enemies that are weak to light. And two-handed is a good ability for physical damage dealers, equipping two weapons at once.
Yeah, most notably, X-Death in X-Death Castle is weak to Holy, so that Holy Spear, if you do find a way to equip it, will be quite useful for that fight.
Alright, and checking the library for Garlyle, it has a hint. So Big Bridge Key is in World 3, if I read that correctly.
Yep. So there are 5 hints in each world, and it looks like Garlyle is going to shop for all the hints before he continues on to the next phase of his route here. So it's kind of common to just get all the hints out of the way so you know how you need to path, especially if you find like a World 1 hint, or a Path of the Void hint that's early on, so you know that you can go straight there and skip some of the early bosses.
And we have our first Path to the Void hint, which is Wolf's Meteor. So we don't know what is on Wolf's Meteor, but we know it is required to finish the seed. So it has either a tablet, or bracelet, or anti-buyer, or a key item that leads to those items. While Windfox actually went in World 2 to check all the shops. And another hint, since Castle Gate also has a hint. And we have a knight as our starting job. That's a really good starting job. So the knight is a physical damage dealer, can equip all the swords, including the Excalibur and the Ragnarok. They also have a lot of HP, which is really good when you start, especially if you can master the job, which means the freelancer will have the knight's HP as well. And Steamship is also Path to the Void.
And just in case, you know, anybody out there is unfamiliar what Path of the Void might refer to. So basically, there are 6 key items that we're looking for. Well, -1 since we start with 1 tablet. So there's the 4 tablets, and there's the bracelet and the anti-barrier. So those Path of the Void hints refer to one of those items being in that general location, you know, in that general location. So you might find on a Path to the Void, there may be key items that you receive there that unlock a chain. So you may see Steamship Key to Elder Branch. So that's how that Path of the Void hint works.
Yep. So, as you saw since the beginning of the seed, we also have what we call world hints. So, the game tells us directly this specific item, which might be required or not, is in this world. So that's useful when you're looking for a specific item and you know, well, I just have to search in this world and not the others. So Windfox is also checking the secret items in more. So those in the vanilla game are the Brave Blade and the Chicken Knife. Those are high tier rewards, but you can only choose one. That's why Windfox reloaded a save after seeing the Chicken Knife spot was a Flame Tongue. The Knight can equip the Flame Tongue if you need fire damage, but that's not really the greatest you can find here. And Windfox had trouble finding the spot again. So what's on the left? And it's Magic Sword level 5. Oh, and apparently I missed Hay Valley Path to the Void. Thanks, chat. So that was the hint at Moa, I guess. And Garlyle is also going to save scam the 2 spots. Yeah, so Magic Sword 5 and Ice 3 Sword Magic is really powerful for the beginning of the seed, especially if you find bosses weak to ice. Like Ifrit, for instance. Ifrit is going to be really easy. And basically with Magic Sword 5, we can use any sword magic except Flare, Holy, and Sick, since those are Magic Sword 6. So it leaves us with a lot of, elemental damage or status effects. Magic Sword Sleep, Magic Sword Mute, those are really powerful for bosses that aren't immune to the status effects. Especially the infamous Omniscient, who is actually not immune to Mute. So it's going to be put to use. We also find Slash and the Chemist in Castle Surgate. So Slash is a instant kill move. It's slow, but it's an instant kill, which is really useful at the beginning of the game, because if you find a boss that is not heavy, you can make quick work of it, and we just got the worst hint we could possibly get.
Lovely Fork Tower. Oh, that's well, so that's going to require us finding the Elder Branch, because clearing the Forest of Moor boss is required to access the Fork Tower. And also the reason why that is unwelcome news is because Fork Tower requires you to split your party. You can do 1 and 3, 2 and 2, but there are 2 bosses to fight with less party members than you usually have.
And obviously, if you lose the fight, you have to climb the tower again. So yeah, imagine you get the first boss, you get the item you want, but then you have to kill the second boss, and, well, you die. You have to climb it all again. That's the worst check. And here Garlyle is checking the Kuza Castle's items. With the first tablet, he can pick 3 of them, and we have X Magic and X Fight.
Yeah, with a night start, X Fight is really good. This castle is got a lot of powerful summons, a lot of powerful weapons. Usually you see about maybe half and half if you're lucky of good stuff to just random junk, but yeah, this is looking to be quite the good Castle Kuzar.
Yeah, Meteor is a powerful spell, and Holy Sword Magic is a really good spell to get magic blades spell blade to have for Exes, as you stated earlier. So what Garlyle picked is Odin. Odin is an insta-kill summon that you can use if you have Summon 4. It's an insta-kill, or if the enemy is immune to instant death. It's a heavy physical attack. It's like a great damage dealer at this point. So both runners are checking the Balcastle spot, which is the Sergeant. It's Ironclaw. And
notably, the Sergeant is able to be instant killed, which Windfox is just doing back row and slash strats. So hopefully we'll get that kill on the Sergeant. It can miss, and it looks like these wolves are really doing a number on his party, but he does get it down, so that's going to be a lot of XP for those 2 members. So that should probably get him into the 20s around, so that'll be a nice level boost for the early game.
Yeah, unfortunately, Galuf and Faris will stay a little behind, and all of this for a Yuishi bow. So that's not a key item, but Yuishi bow is a good bow. It's the second most powerful bow, but it has more crit rate than the Artemis bow. So it's a really good bow to use, especially if you have a Berserker. That's the infamous Berserker strat that Windfox actually likes to use. So Garlyle got petrified and killed at the same time. That's a shortcut we have on this randomizer to, have a quick restart. You hold L, R, start and select at the same time. And we have another hint. So Karnak Meteor gives us a bracelet.
Okay, I have full inventory of hints. So Ifrit's Fire in World 1. It is Waltz Path of the Void, Adamantite World 1, Shrine Page World 2, Big Bridge Key World 3, Steamship Path of the Void, Hiryu Path of the Void, Fork Path of the Void, Moogle Suit 2, and Karnak Meteor holding the bracelet.
Yes, that's all the hints we have. So Garlyle is also trying to win against Sergeant, but by killing the wolves before the Sergeant, he transforms into Iron Claw. Yeah, so you can just save an animation. He still gets him. So he was able to summon Odin, which is an insta-kill move, unless you miss, and it does Heavy Spear. And a Gale Bow in the Hiryu Valley. So the Gale Bow can randomly do X-Fight. That's also nice to have. So Hiryu Valley is required because it's a path to the void, but it also has nice items. It's a nice reward tier.
I noticed, I'm not sure if this is the case with Ironclaw, but if you transform him, maybe you don't get XP from that fight. Because Garlyle did not get any XP from that Ironclaw fight. So that's going to be a huge setback there, because that's one of the early spots you count on big XP for.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Like, only because Odin missed on the first turn, I think. And Windfox just reset. So it was Wing Raptor on the Hiryu Valley spot. Wing Raptor is the first boss in the vanilla game, but at this specific spot, it has much HP. And well, he thinks I cannot one-hit KO Wing Raptor at this level. Slash would most probably miss, and it's too slow to cast. So he knows Wing Raptor is here, so as soon as he can do it, he will get back here. But for now, he's just going to do some shopping and other checks. And we have White Wind available. And Garlyle is actually going to do the same, checking Hiryu Valley. And we also have Q3, so that's the most powerful healing white magic that we have right away. We still cannot use it because we don't have a white magic 5, I think it is. And Windfox checks Kuzar Castle. So will he take the same items as Garlyle?
Yeah, with a night start, I think you almost have to take X Fight because it's just too good to pass up. You know, especially thinking forward to, you know, if you somehow manage to get like a Dragoon, that'll make the X Death fight even easier.
You could also take the summons and X magic. That would be a powerful way to deal a lot of damage. Like, you know, double Odin or double Bahamut, this costs a lot of MPs, but it deals a lot of damage in one turn. And I think Windfox is hesitating do I pick up X-Fight and Holy Soul Magic, or X-Magic and Summons? And he picks up Odin and X-Fight, so... and Bahamut. So yeah, basically kind of the same as Garlyle. And we're also going to level up our Chemist. So why do we level up the Chemist? So we can gain the drink and mix abilities. Those are really useful and allows you to increase your battle level mid-fight, which is a good thing for the final boss, for which we rely on Giltas, if we find it, which scales on your battle level.
Yep, and so it looks like Garlyle's just going to hit Wind Shrine. It's the lowest level boss, so this is the ground up XP strats. Karnak Meteor.
So that's Leviathan. I don't think it has enough MP to actually cast Big Wave, so we should be safe. Okay, so yeah, we're safe.
Yeah, normally having Ramu in your rotation for Conjure would be kind of a drawback, but in that particular case, it's very welcome because Leviathan is weak to lightning.
And talking about Ramu, it's actually the boss Windfox found. So Ramu can be one-hit KO'd, so that's what he did with Odin. And Garlyle won't need to level up the Chemist because he found the mixed command on the Wind Crystal Shards.
Yeah, that is going to be very welcome. It's a lot easier to not have to level up the Chemist because the Chemist in general just does not have the best abilities that you can stack, because drink is very useful, but the equipment that chemists can use does not go well with drink. It's just like kind of awkward. It learns a lot of very powerful abilities, but you need to use more than like one of them at the same time to really get much benefit out of it.
Yeah, basically it can only equip knives and rods. So you can use rods, you can equip like the air knife or the chicken knife, but that's all actually. And that's the Tyrannosaur, that's the T-Rex. Hello there. So the T-Rex hits hard, but we can one-hit KO the T-Rex with a healing spell, with a reanimation spell like Life 2, or even a Phoenix Down.
Yeah, so Garlyle is going to go buy some Phoenix Downs and just going to go get that boss taken care of. It can take a few tries. If you're lucky, you will basically get it in the first try, but sometimes it takes a few tries. So it's not necessarily a free fight, especially because the Tyrannosaur is also kind of fast, so can easily wipe the party if you don't get it in the first couple of tries.
Alright, so after Karnak Meteor, here we have the Wolf's Meteor, it's Path to the Void. That's why we have to defeat the T-Rex. So here we go. And the Phoenix Down missed. Second try. Nope, third try maybe? That's a second character down. And here we go. On the other hand, Windfox gets Mix ability just after getting Mix on the Chemist. He must be very happy. And, well, we know where we're going next.
Yeah, Steamship will be pretty good for Garlyle at this point because it's a good chance to get some more levels, and the equipment that you can get from the Karnak escape is really good.
And it's Path to the Void, so why not go there right now? On the other hand, Windfox kind of hesitated while seeing the Dancer crystal. So the Dancer is kind of a good job. Like the Dance command, if you can equip a Dancer gear, can yield Sword Dance more often, which is a really powerful physical move. But the Dancer itself cannot equip really good weapons. So what you want is either grind the Dancer to get the Dance command and equip it like on the Knight, or get like equip sword or equip spear and use sword dance with the Dancer. That's a really powerful strat. It kind of revolves around RNG since you aren't 100% sure you can use sword dance. But it's fun to use. I love this strat.
Yeah, also, alternatively, if you get the chicken knife, it's one of the most powerful weapons in the hands of a Dancer. Easily, you can get quad 9s by mid-game, and just, you will steamroll bosses quite often when I've played through. By the time I got to X Death, I was nearing 9,000 damage on sword dances with the chicken knife.
And you can also combine it with two-handed. Like if you have the freelancer with dance and two-handed, you can have any big weapon, 2 big weapons, and use sword dance, and that's really big numbers. But it requires a lot of preparation.
Who wouldn't love a brave blade and chicken knife in either hand? Ragnarok.
Yeah. And that's run 2, Windfox versus Wingraptor. So this time we can actually stand the Breath Wing. And no, you cannot use Earthshaker on Wingraptor. That doesn't work since Wingraptor is a bird. However, yeah, we can use Ice 3 sword and Bolt 3 sword. So right now we have 2 Path to the Void locations, 2 different locations, being checked by our runners. So we can have a difference on the route. Both runners are gonna split right now. Relying on Conjure relies too much on RNG. If you only have 1 or 2 summons, you're guaranteed to use them, but if you have many more summons, you will use the lower summons more often. So here, since we got Ifrit and Ramu, those are going to be seen more often than Odin or Bahamut. While Garlyle actually got the Ninja, which is also another powerful job. It can equip all the knives, including the chicken knife and the hardened dagger. Oh, Sandworm Bait. So here your Valley gives us the Sandworm Bait. So we know that subsequently the Sandworm is required.
And as is tradition, Antlion, once taking enough damage, will just get out of town. And there's our Adamantite hint. So that could be our Path of the Void hint as well, because Adamantite could lead to something in the Flying Lanka Ruins. There are 2 bosses there that will drop some key items potentially. So
it is Path to the Void, since Steamship was Path to the Void.
It could also be Karnak Escape. So if there's another key item at the end of this,
are you sure it's not? It would be its own hint. I think it would say Karnak Castle, Path to the Void.
Well, it's required to get Steamship is required to access Karnak Castle, so it could be just a Path of the Void through access alone.
I see.
Much like Elder Branch being required to access Fork Tower.
Yeah, but if Fork Tower is required, does it say that Moor Forest is Path to the Void? Because it can also be barren. Oh, and Garlyle got the magic lamp. That's another useful item to have. So the magic lamp summons all the powerful summons when you use it as an item, but it's cycled through every summons until it reaches 0. So, but it guarantees Odin True Edge upon use, and that's a really good thing, especially on Neo Exodus. So yes, the anti-barrier was dropped on the Sandworm, so that's the end of the chain. Yep, that's what I said before. More forest can be required for Fog Tower access, but it can also be barren. And you can have a barren hint for more forest while having required Fog Tower. That's the problem. I mean, it's technically not wrong, but you can be led astray because of that.
So Garlyle finishing up the castle here, and so the any trapped chest in the game will have tier 9 rewards. So that's why that makes this place so lucrative, because there are 3 trapped chests in here. So it will make for some pretty good loot, and after this, we'll see where he heads out. He'll probably follow that Adamantite, I would imagine.
Oh, and I just saw we also got the Wolf's Tower key. That must have been in Torna Canal. And yes, attacking Ifrit with Ifrit. That's literally fighting fire with fire.
And here we have the Hiryu plant, and there it went.
And no key item. And yeah, no. The fire crystal doesn't give key item. That's only the item after Antlion, which was the Adamantite. And the Karnak Castle boss didn't give us any key items, so we know the next step on the Path to the Void chain is indeed the Adamantite, so that's Flying Lanka Ruins.
So Windfox choosing to go into the Forest of Moor. Now there are a lot of good items here, and you can easily just save outside the last boss and just kind of move on if it's not something you can insta kill. I don't think Windfox has the power to straight fight a boss if it's not instant killable yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. if you can, one hit KO it, that's great. You have a consequent lead on the seed. But if you cannot, well, you know what's on this spot and you know it's required, so you can just get back here later. And Garlyle is following the Adamantite path, so we have a panda here.
So a funny interaction with a panda, which you wouldn't get to see strats, but if you straight summon Ifrit, a panda will cower in fear of Ifrit for a few turns and use medicine on themselves. So it's kind of a funny interaction to get a panda to waste some time. It's just one of those things that if you get a chance to try it, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, like the only practical use is if you need to buy a turn, like to heal, reanimate a character, or just set up. But otherwise, you won't deal much damage with Ifrit on a panda. Like a panda normally is a void boss, so you're normally using like Fire 3, Flare, etc. And yeah, Garlyle just chooses to reset and go somewhere else. While Windfox is hesitating. Is the stream frozen or is Windfox in the pause menu?
That I am not sure of.
The time just refreshed, so I guess he's in the pause menu.
But on Garlyle's side, we have our favorite drink break, bathroom break boss, Go-Go. So there are two ways to fight Go-Go. One is to just sit there and do nothing and wait for Go-Go to eventually X-zone himself out of the fight.
That takes 3 minutes.
Or you can straight fight Go-Go. However, not recommended, as he will counter with all sorts of high tier spells such as Meteo, which can easily wipe your party, and he will double cast that. So yeah, it's definitely not recommended to fight him unless you can kill him in one hit.
Yeah, if you can kill him in one hit, you save a lot of time, but that's risky. If you don't kill him, well, he will counter 2 times with like normal attacks, and the 3rd time he will just get angry at you and just meet you, and that's party wipe. So yeah, Garlyle just chooses to take the 3 minutes break, and that's all. And hello, Greg. So the Guardian spot at the end of Moor Forest is Gilgamesh 3. So it's a tough part. It has a lot of HP, and Gilgamesh 3, if you cannot kill it quickly, will summon Enkidu. And the first thing Enkidu will do is fully heal Gilgamesh with White Wind. And you do not want that.
Yeah, this is an interesting fight to take on because effectively the HP total for this boss is cut in half to account for Enkidu, which you can instant kill Enkidu. So effectively this whole fight is somewhat cut mostly in half if you consider a little bit extra for the White Wind heal. But if you can instant kill Enkidu, that might make this fight easier. Gil 3 doesn't have too many tricks up his sleeve. Usually the gimmick to this fight is dealing with Enkidu, as opposed to like Gil 2, which has his kind of enrage mode, where he will cast a whole sort of buffs on him and then just start jumping.
Alright, so Garlyle finished up with Go-Go and got a Golem summon spell. Golem is a really good support summon spell. It basically makes you immune to physical attacks for the duration of Golem's shield. That's really useful against X-Death at X-Death Castle. So on Windfox's screen, he will ditch the Dancer. Dancer is a good strat, but unless you have either a Tiara, Rainbow Suit, or Red Shoes, you will do less Sword Dance, and you might see some tempting Tango, which will try to confuse the opponent, which obviously is of no use against those bosses. That was a good try, but yeah, Gilgamesh 3 is too much of a powerful spot, especially since Windfox cannot really use instant kill skills. He only has Slash, which is slow, and Odin, but he doesn't have Summon 4. He only has Conjure. And Moogle Waterway gives us our favorite boss.
So Necrophobe isn't too bad at this spot.
It's better here than in the Void, for sure.
Yeah, Necrophobe usually at anything less than World 3 is pretty decent to deal with, because the barriers don't cast any real high tier spells at this level. When you run into them in the Void, especially, you will have the barriers casting Holy and Flare.
Holy, yeah.
So you'll get quad casts of Flare and Holy on your party, and you basically you just hope that it doesn't hit each party member individually every round.
Alright, so Garlyle did the catapult, which was guarded by Milzin. So Milzin is the biochange boss in this game. First form is always weak to fire, and luckily we had fire to fight her, so she is dead pretty quickly. Didn't see what if she had an item, but I guess not. Yeah, it was just a strength suit. I mean, how can she drop a suit? She's basically naked.
Well, she just didn't have it equipped.
True. Alright, so after you kill all 4 barriers, Necrophobe will reveal his true power. So first he will flash you. Do not take that out of context, obviously. So he will blind you, and will deal a lot of damage with his physical attack. So kill him as fast as possible. The good thing is that with X-Fight, you bypass the accuracy check, so even if you're blind, you will land all 4 strikes. And Necrophobe is down.
Yeah, so my estimate is Garlyle must be looking for that Ifrit's Fire. Because that's the only thing I can see being a reason to do this check in particular. I was thinking maybe he was looking for XP to go back to the Flying Lanka Ruins, but this isn't really going to net him much XP. So he might be doing looking for that Ifrit's Fire to do the library in one go.
And Windfox actually chooses to go forward, so since he has the anti-barrier and the bracelet, he can complete X-Death Castle already. Even though those are powerful bosses.
Ooh, there's the 4th tablet. So that's the first tablet we found on the menu. And I believe, unless this Path of the Void is one huge long chain, we might know where all the other 2 are.
Yeah, so at least one tablet is either on Fog Tower or behind the check that is accessible after Fog Tower. If we're lucky, we can have both tablets on Fog Tower. Maybe? That would be epic. And carbon coal is French vanilla. So carbon coal is normally in Ex's castle in the basement, but here is on Gilgamesh one's spot.
So Garlyle adding more ammunition to his conjure belt. Generally, you want to kind of limit the amount of summons you have, but I guess when you have a couple of low tier summons in the mix, you might as well add more high tier ones. Because you want to try to control what summons you have, because there's some bosses where you might not want to use, say, Leviathan on, because it may heal someone, or Ifrit, or something like that. But I mean, damage is damage.
Yeah, especially since we have 3 of the most powerful summons. Like we had Odin, Leviathan, and Bahamut in Kuza Castle, so that's a lot of variety in the highest powerful summon.
So one thing to note, I don't think Windfox has been around to the Karnak hint, which
Windfox, Windfox had the Karnak Meteor hint.
No, I mean the hint in Karnak.
Oh.
Which is
I don't
Walt's
think
Path of the Void, which had the steamship key.
That might explain why he didn't go there and only Garlyle went there. So yeah, you're right. And speaking about Windfox, he gets nothing in the castle's basement. So instead, we're going to go further, maybe take on X-Death already. But I don't know if Windfox is prepared. Like, he has Knights and Dancer, but that's all. I don't think he has equipped Spear to use the Holy Spear. He doesn't have Magic Sword 6 to use Holy Spellblade.
He doesn't.
He have
equipped Spear, yeah. So he's got the Holy Spear, so he's set for X-Death. And he's even got a Man-Eater, so that'll do some nice damage.
Alright, so pure Commentator's Curse, he actually has both Equipped Spear and Magic Sword 6. So if he picked up a Holy Sword Magic in Kuza Castle, he's going to get huge damage on X-Death. So this this makes sense. Like, if you put a Dancer with Equipped Spear and Holy Spear, and if you can yield some Sword Dances, that's gonna hurt.
And there's the third tablet.
Wow, already. So, where was that? Which meteor was that? Was it Lunka or?
I think it was Lanka.
Yeah. All right. So catapult is required, actually, since the Lunka meteor spawns only after you do catapult.
So Garlyle knows that this is Path of the Void, and this is the anti-barrier, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
He knows where the bracelet is. I'm not sure if he picked it up yet, but
no, that was send one bait here to get the anti-barrier on send one. So you're technically right. Just a few extra steps.
And then he knows that the adamantite is Path of the Void. So Garlyle will have everything he needs pretty shortly here.
Yes. He will need the Elder Branch. Yeah, just need the Elder Branch for Moor Forest, which Windfox has.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Elder Branch. So
And we
there
know
must be. It must be some kind of submarine involved check. That's Path of the Void, I would say. If
Windfox has the Elder Branch, so
so, because we have Fork Tower Path of the Void, and we have the Adamantite leading to a Path of the Void. So there's a couple of key items involved. So I would say this is probably something locked by the submarine, like either a falls or a trench location.
True. We have 2 Paths of the Void and only one tablet, only one item remaining. Yeah.
But here we have Ouroboros up at the Gilgamesh 4 spot, and this is normally not too bad to take care of, but with Windfox's setup here, it's not the nicest. I'm just gonna have to straight damage them down, but something like an Odin could easily take care of this. So if he does fail this, I'm not sure if he's got Conjure, but yeah, like if he has Conjure, he can try to roll for Odin a bunch of times. Because there's you could also alternatively, which Windfox doesn't have, cast Sleep or something like that. But
Maybe Sleep Sword?
Slash would work, but they will cast Life too after every slash, so you'd have to just slash a bunch of times. It'd be really slow.
Yeah, unless you kill them all with a single slash. The alternative would be like using Conjure and being lucky to get Big Wave, since they are weak to water.
Yeah.
Or Bahamut will also work.
So it looks like Windfox is just going to skip it altogether, which, I mean, is not going to work out poorly for him, since we kind of know that that's not going to be, most likely not going to be required. I can't imagine anything that would be there at this point that would be required. So he's just going to go for XF and get into World 3.
Oh, the Dynamo is one of the worst spell you can get if you have physical damage dealers, because you have to lose a turn in order to get back to front row, or else your damage are divided by 2. So yeah, generally, if I get Dynamoed, I just reset.
It's especially bad if you have a Berserker in the party, because there's nothing you can do to put them in a different row. So you're pretty much stuck with where they're at.
And, I mean, if it's a Berserker, you don't really care. They do the same amount of damage. They're just more vulnerable. So but you can easily fix that with Golem. So yeah, the biggest concern is you lose a turn, and it can make a huge difference.
So Garlyle fighting Siren over here at the Sandworm spot. Not that big of a deal. He's powerful enough to make that not too much of an issue. So he got the anti-berry. He knows now what that is. So I would say he's possibly going to go back to fight a panda. He's got more levels on him now and can do more damage, so a panda shouldn't be too much of an issue. So we'll see what is behind that adamantite, probably.
The only thing that worries me is that I don't remember where Windfox got the Elder Branch. And that's required, so Garlyle might lose time not knowing where to find it. Even though he currently has a huge lead in terms of key items. And that's a second defeat against Xdeath for Windfox. So will he try again? No, he's getting out.
Okay, so the Elder Branch is at the ship graveyard.
Oh, okay.
Which, in theory, could take Garlyle a bit to go to, because there'd be nothing really to point to ship graveyard, and it's a low-level check, so you don't get much XP out of it. So I would say that Garlyle would probably get whatever he gets from here, and then probably go to Xdeath's castle after.
And Panda is down on Garlyle's side by using Spellblade Fire 2, since the Panda is weak to fire. So now we will know, do we need... And that's Ifrit Fire. So the path to the void through the adamantite can be for the Ifrit's Fire, which unlocks a check in the library, or we can have another key item at the end of the Lunka runes on the Archaeoavis check. So since we're not sure currently, and to avoid having to track two branches, like to avoid going now to the library and going back and forth if it's a dead end, we're just going through the whole Lunka runes. And we find a gold hairpin there that's really good. The gold hairpin reduces the MP cost of your spells and summons. So if we get a summon command with X magic, the gold hairpin will come in handy.
So Windfox is killing. Did he finish Xdeath, or did he? Was
no,
he
walked out of Xdeath's castle.
So it looks like he's probably just collecting XP from whatever he can find, and there is Omniscient. So we have Mute Blades, so this is not going to be too terrible.
Yeah, so basically, Omniscient will normally cast Reset each time you attack him with something else than magic or summon. But if you mute or berserk him, he will be either unable to cast Reset or will just keep attacking with berserk. So that way we can kill Omniscient with physical attacks, which we do have a party for it.
Yeah, and berserking is not usually the recommended strat, because Omniscient is Master Roshi in disguise.
He can hit hard.
He hits really hard, and unless you have something like Image to completely nullify getting hit physically at all, it's not really recommended. Mute is much more effective.
Alright, so Windfox got his steamship key. He can follow the item chain. Other thing the Windfox did before the T-Rex, on castle walls on Shiva's spot, we found a ribbon. This can be really useful since we do have a dancer and equip ribbon. And he also found the pyramid page. So pyramid is not required according to the hints we have. It shouldn't be required. However, it has a lot of chests, like around 25 chests, and those are really high tier. So I doubt Windfox won't be going to pyramid sometimes.
Well, that's not what you'd like to see out of a potential 2 key items in here. So we got Hear You Call. So we have 2 different paths we can follow to see where this adamantite is supposed to lead us. The Ifrit's Fire would probably be the more likely choice since you can get 2 bosses done for the price of 1. But Hear You Call is another option where that Path of the Void can lead us. So we shall see what Garlyle chooses to do with that information. It looks like maybe Hear You Call.
Yeah, both are quick checks, but Hear You Call has more HP, so I would have done the library first. Those would be easier bosses. But first, we're going back to Kusa Castle, since we have 3 tablets, so we can get 3 more juicy rewards here.
And based on what would be left, the 3 items that would be left in the castle, I think this will probably be his last trip here. Because one's Apollo Harp and the other is like a crystal armor. And then you got Tinkerbell. So yeah, those 3 items will be the last thing in the castle.
I think he will take the crystal armor since we can equip it with the knight. So he's just going to leave the Apollo Harp, Tinkerbell, and the Tempest Sword. Tempest Sword is a katana that has a lot of crit rate, but we don't have equipped katana and we don't have a samurai, so it won't be really useful.
So Garlyle is a little bit ahead on knowledge, but Windfox, I would say, is in a slightly better position for XP and levels. So I'm not sure as to... I think I'd call them pretty even at this point, but we shall see, because it looks like Garlyle was just cashing in the tablets to get and then is going back to library. So we'll see if the Hear You Call is where the Path of the Void leads us, and this might be wasted time. Who knows? The other thing actually is there's nothing that points to North Mountain having a tablet. So that is one thing that Windfox does not have. That Garlyle has over Windfox is having that North Mountain tablet, since there's not a lot of reason to go back there at such a low level, unless you have maybe Mirage Radar and you're doing it at the same time as Bahamut.
But then you wouldn't do Bahamut. Since that would probably be your last tablet. But the same argument could work for Windfox also, since Windfox already found the Elder Branch. Like, you would have to think, I want the Elder Branch, it can be anywhere, we don't have any direct hint for it, and you have to think, oh, I didn't do Tona Canal into Ship Graveyard, which is only in World 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But not only it is only in World 1, contrary to Northern Mountain, but it's not a direct check. Like, you have to do Tona Canal first.
Yes, this might be decided on who decides to do that early world one check first, because neither runner has much reason to do those, because you don't get XP out of it, you're not getting any good rewards out of it. So you're probably going to prioritize the higher World 2, World 3 checks to get more XP and better items overall.
And in the library we have Gilgamesh 2. So Gilgamesh 2 can be dangerous because once you hit a HP threshold, he will fully buff himself with armor, shell, haste, and then will jump. But at this spot, you will just easily kill him before he can do that. So we're just going to see one jump and then he dies.
I like to think that he stubs his toe for the final damage point on the jump.
Oh, I just stubbed my toe. I slipped. And false page. So this might be the path to the void, but it could also be something on the Hiryu call. Like,
Yeah.
if the Hiryu call gives you the trench page, where you got the false page on Ifrit Fire, and you know both are behind the submarine, which is probably Fog Tower's required item, this is basically 50-50.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good spot to be in if you find trench page here. That's probably one of the worst things left that you could find is, that ambiguous, okay, well, now when I get the submarine, I get to choose between one or the other.
So so we know Fog Tower is Path to the Void, so it's required for the last tablet, but it can't be directly the last tablet, because if it does, then we have a Path to the Void that leads to nothing, because the steamship was Path to the Void. It gave us the Adamantite, and the Adamantite led to Ifrit's Fire and Hiryu Call. So either Ifrit's Fire, so false page, or Hiryu Call is required. And the only way to have a single item locked behind two Paths to the Void is if it's a trench or false, because those are locked behind the page and the submarine. So we have to see what's behind Gilgamesh 3 spot. And well, it's Atomos. So Atomos will welcome you warmly with some hot comments. So we know that at least one character will stay down, because if all party members are alive, Atomos will keep casting Comet, so it's just better to let the character dead.
Yeah, if you are keeping track of Atomos's HP, you could potentially resurrect that last party member at the last second before you do the final amount of damage.
That's gonna be hard because we're hitting with Meteor, and Meteor is kind of random, so you can't really predict. Oh, okay, at next hit I will kill Atomos so I can bring my character back alive. You can't, because you don't know how much your next Meteor will hit. So Atomos is dead, and so is Ferris. Excuse me, Celis. And Mirage Red Tower. Okay, so at least we know this. I mean, it unlocks one check, but we know it can't be combined with Fog Tower's item. It has to be false page. So yeah, we're most likely going to find the submarine key at Fog Tower, and we're going to use it along with the false page to check history falls. And that's going to be our last tablet there. But Garlyle has to find the Elder Branch.
I mean, theoretically, Mirage Radar could lead to the
Trench
page at North Mountain.
Oh, okay, that's true. That's completely true. That's true.
So, I mean, we're still in ambiguous territory, and I think that's even worse than just having straight up trench page there.
Oh,
But
yes,
I think most people would go to Falls after. I think we're pretty much, we know that Subkey is at Fork Tower. So after getting Subkey, I think you'd go Falls instead of trying to go North Mountain and see what's there.
Yeah. I mean, we're saying Submarine Key and Fork Tower. It can be directly the Submarine Key or a key item that leads to the Submarine Key. Because we know the Big Bridge Key is in Wall 3. Fork Tower can have the Big Bridge Key, which has the Submarine Key. Yeah,
that is true as well.
Yeah. You know, a big, long item chain. We love to see that.
So, Garlyle just waiting for Carbuncle to become vulnerable so that he can just kill her outright.
Yeah. With
Meanwhile, Windfox, following that Path of the Void, and getting all of those key items out of the Flying Lonka Ruins. So I would imagine he is going to return back to Excess Castle pretty soon here, because he's gotten more XP and now can.
Yeah,
looks
that's
like he did not have the setup for Omni.
Yeah, no, he knows he can use a magic sword, but yeah, he was checking the comments on all 4 characters, and oh, I didn't bring it, so reset.
That was his last save was quite a while ago. He is in Steamship, so that is quite the setback.
Oh, I hope he didn't do much in between. Oh, that's a major F. That's why you save when you have a save spot. You can always have bad surprises. Like in this setup, he would have to keep his time magic user alive to spam Meteor, and I don't think he actually picked up Meteor.
So, the only thing in terms of key items that he lost from this point would have been Ifrit's Fire. So it's not too much of a setback. The real question is, how much. I don't even remember all of the gear that was in Karnak Escape, and if there was anything that was super worth getting, because you might want to just skip doing some of these checks if there's nothing here that you know that you're going to use.
Yeah, he just knows there's a magic lamp here in Karnak Castle, and that's all. So hopefully he remembers which boss has items, so yeah, we don't need to untrack anything, we know where those are. Windfox knows where those are. So yeah, he just picked up the magic lamp and he's not going to check all the chests. Normally. Commentator's curse again?
Alright, so we have Bolt 2 Sword.
We also have Ice 3 and Bolt 3.
I'm not sure if Garlyle has the
Yes, he
high
has
enough level magic sword to cast Bolt 3 sword.
doesn't have magic sword 5. Because yeah, since Calabos isn't a heavy boss, using a tier 3 spell with Magic Blade will instantly kill it normally. So Magic Blade Bolt 3 would instantly kill Calabos.
But Carlibos is weak to lightning, so Bolt 2 sword should do a lot of damage. And yeah, 5,000. So this won't be too hard of a fight anyway with Meteo and that Bolt 2 sword.
The thing is, if he doesn't have Magic Sword 6, it also means he doesn't have Holy Blade for X-Death. And that's going to be a much bigger problem.
Perhaps, but he does have Quick and Meteo and a gold hairpin, so
yeah,
we actually have 2 gold hairpins.
He also has X Magic. I don't think he's going to use Quick, because Quick, even with Gold Pin, uses a lot of MP. So just X Magic Meteor will do the trick. But yeah, like with 3 knights, Holy Blade would have made a difference.
Yeah.
So, will Garlyle actually do the boss here? Because if I remember correctly, Windfox skipped this boss. Yeah, the Pyro Balls.
Yeah. So yeah, Garlyle could easily reset, and he has a lot of stuff that can take care of this boss. So if he wants to just do, yes, it looks like he's gonna do Conjure Spam.
I mean, technically, you could just use the Magic Lamp, since he does have the Magic Lamp for this fight, which Windfox didn't at the time. Or if we have summon 4 or 5, we can just use Odin or Leviathan directly. Nope, he's going to skip the boss. Nope. Did he change his mind? He changed his mind.
Oh, it looks like he looks like he just was intending to do it, but didn't open the chest first.
Yeah. Alright, so Conjure Strat, and that's a bad roll. So this is 1. Shout, this is 2, and that's bad, I think.
Yeah, that's not good. You want to kill them all at the same time. But
did he resurrect himself? Okay, oh yeah,
here we go.
So, if you break 1, he will have the death animation before casting Life 2, so Life 2 will actually resurrect him. And we have Odin True Edge, and nope, because they can then all resurrect themselves. As I said, if you proc the death animation, they will resurrect themselves after the death. So you have to get like big waves or mega flare, or you could also like keep going until they don't have enough MP to cast Life 2, or you could mute them. Berserk also work. You can also Berserk them. But as I suggested, yeah, guaranteed big wave with Magic Lamp.
Okay, so with a couple of lamps, we got the boss down. As we know, there's probably not any key items here. Oh, there's the Moogle suit. That's actually could be big.
That's really nice. So Moogle suit doesn't lead to any key item check, but it has 7 chests with high tier rewards. So we can have really good comments there, or weapons like Ragnarok, Guild Toss, Freelancer. That's great to get like on the way. And since he only used the magic lamp 2 times, he knows that the next summon is Odin with a guaranteed true edge, which is the perfect setup for Neo Exdeath.
So we have 3 time mages and a knight with Holy Lance, so I think we're about to see a lot of Meteo happening.
Yeah. I don't think he bought the Dancer anyway. Where has Windfox actually saved this time? He saved before Omniscient.
Which Meteo could, from each character, do around, I would say maybe 4,000 to 8, or well, 4,000 per cast, so 4,000 to 8,000 per round on average per character, and Exdeath has 32,000 health, so yeah, a lot of double casted Meteos with good RNG will make quick work of this boss.
Yeah, also casting Hast on a condemned character, I don't think that's a really good idea, but we might be able to kill Exdeath quickly enough with like double Meteos. Alright, so we're in the phase where Exdeath has 2 moves per turn, so we're near the end. So the next double Meteo might be it. And Windfox took his revenge against the Omniscient, yeah, and got the How You Call.
And down goes Exdeath on Garlyle's side. Meanwhile, Windfox leaving the Flying Lock Ruins, and we'll see where he heads after this.
Probably into Exdeath's castle.
There are a couple of Path to the Void options that he can chase. Again, the library and the Hear You Call. So I'd imagine he might take care of one of those, at least before going into Exdeath's castle. But he's probably got to be thinking at 123 that he's got to get into World 3 and into that Fork Tower pretty soon here.
And can we get some hype? Because we're going to check Moogle Village. So those are really high tier rewards, and here goes a Brave Blade.
With Knight in your arsenal, that is one of the best items to get. Samurai Crystal, Chicken Knife, Guild Toss. Oh, wow.
Alright, so Samurai Crystal won't be of use since we have Guild Toss directly available. What we lack now is only the Freelancer or the Mimic, so we can equip 2 abilities at once, namely Guild Toss and Mix. So yeah, the Moogle suit is really nice. And that's what I fear. Like, Windfox might come back to Exdeath's castle like in Go mode and would skip the Pyro Balls and then would skip Moogle Forest.
Now, to be fair, we do have the Magic Lamp and Break Sword on both sides, so the Exdeath fight, the Neo Exdeath fight wouldn't be too terrible to do in any case. You just wouldn't have Guild Toss strats being the fastest strat, but
you could just also do Mix to get Elemental Damage and spam Leviathan X Magic. That would work too.
But can we get some additional hype for the Mirage Village? Because this has some of the best shops around, and we could find some, I guess what we might be looking for here is maybe some blue mage stuff, or some like white 6, or
White 6, Holy Magic, Black 6, Flare, something like that.
But at this point, this is all gravy. This is all icing on top of the cake that Garlyle has. So Windfox finding the trench page at Waltz Tower, which that tells me then that probably the Falls is where our final tablet lies.
Yes, so we know trench page cannot be required. But Garlyle cannot know this since he doesn't have the Walls Tower key. And won't, even if he finds it, he won't use it. I mean, he will find it because if I remember correctly, Walls Tower key was on Tunnel Canal and you need to go through that to get into Ship Graveyard. Alright, so if you missed him the first time, here is the famous Mimic Gogo.
Mystic Knight.
Summon 5. We have Summon 5. It doesn't buy it? Like, that's your...
He's definitely wanting to save money for
the
guild toss, but
like Summon 5. I mean, if he wanted to save money, why did he pick Magic Knight? That's because he doesn't have Magic Sword 6, but he can obtain that without the Magic Knight. So otherwise, you could have picked Summon 5, which would enable you to use all Summon. Alright, so he knows that Walls Tower has the trench page, so we will not go there. That's some nice Mirage hints.
So that's the last hints he's gonna get, because there's no way he's gonna end up at trench unless he has miscalculated his Path of the Void.
And a rainbow suit, so Garlyle and ribbons too. So Garlyle wouldn't really care about those, but Windfox, since he has a dancer, would surely buy rainbow suit to get rid of Tempting Tango and increase the chance of casting Soul Dance.
Garlyle actually going to North Mountain. This is kind of a surprise. But I guess he could think it might be Elder Branch, perhaps.
Yes,
so
he's
I can see
looking.
why. I still probably would have not done this right away, but I mean, it's rando, so anything could be anywhere.
Also, since it's Bahamut's spot, it has a lot of HP, so it can also give you a lot of experience points.
Hopefully this is a boss we can instant kill. Meanwhile, Windfox, taking care of unfinished business, does have a man-eater, so will be able to take care of Guild 3 pretty easily if once you get that sword dance to actually proc. I imagine it should do quad 9s to Guild 3.
Yeah, he just has to actually get Sword Dance.
Oof, and this is not a fight you want to see at Bahamut spot, unless you have, say, Aegis shields or ribbons equipped, because this is going to be a long, tedious fight, and you're going to need a bunch of softs to deal with Shotes.
So, like, literally 1 minute ago, Garlyle saw ribbons for sale in Mirage Village. He might regret not having the dancer right now. He actually has equip ribbon, I think, so he could have. He could always reset by the ribbons and go on show, but that wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, I don't know how many softs he has in his inventory, but you're probably going to need like 10 to 20.
Yeah, and at this part, Short also does a lot of the mage with his physical attacks.
Alright, and down goes Guild 3 on Windfox's side, so he will have access to Fork Tower. And then we'll see... Oh, there's the Shrine page.
Oh. Shrine.
Yep, so that satisfies our hint from earlier that Shrine page was in World 2.
So it's really funny because clearing Shrine gives you the animation of Fog Tower being available, and you had to do this spot to get access to Fog Tower. So yeah, nice one, game. Nice one.
Yeah, I can see Garlyle considering whether he wants to do this check now or not, because this is a really tedious fight. It's not necessarily hard, it's just very slow to do it properly.
Yeah, don't worry, Windfox has multiple save points ahead before X-Death, so he will save this time, don't worry. And Garlyle retries Bahamut spot. He is giving Shot another shot.
Yeah, with the rough part is with your characters having to constantly deal with the not only the break, but the any physical attack will pretty much kill a party member in one hit. So you're double healing people, and it really slows down the fight. Looks like he's trying to use stop, but
so both 3 sword missed on Calabas. That's unfortunate. And that's 5,000. Oh, so contrary to what I believe, that's not insta-kill.
yeah, it is the other one. There's 2 lobster bosses.
Yeah, I confuse it with Cracklow. One is heavy, not the other.
So Garlyle using stop spam to buy any time that he can to keep Shote from doing anything as much as possible. Stop will wear off very quickly, but you know, any as many counters as you can prevent will help.
Well, even if you can prevent Shote from counter-attacking with Demon's High, once he gets out of stop, he hits hard and can also drain. So even if you don't get Put to Stone, you would still have to heal one character. Also, the fact that he has to double cast Stop takes time as well.
Ooh, and the cover proc getting his knight killed from the physical attack. Now, that is just to mention a strategy. You can actually cheese it like cover guard strats where you have fully physical bosses such as Minotauros. If you have one person on low HP and you have guard makes you take 0 physical damage no matter how strong the boss is. So you can perpetually just keep guarding and never take any damage from certain bosses like Minotauros, which is a very useful strat.
And Shot is down. And we get a strength suit. Yay! So Karu Day is the name of the Final Fantasy V randomizer, just like Final Fantasy IV randomizer is named Free Enterprise, and Final Fantasy VI randomizer is named Worlds Collide. So this is Final Fantasy V randomizer.
Alright, so Garlyle, having come up empty on North Mountain, is now going to try to decide on what to do next. And I see a World 1 thought. Oh, no. He seems to... Yeah, he's missing that Elder Branch, so he's trying to figure out what he needs to check next. And it looks like he's going to do Boko.
Yeah, we don't have any hint as to where the Elder Branch is, so he's going to look everywhere for the Elder Branch. It can be anywhere, so... Actually, he might think a Path to the Void is for the Elder Branch. That's why he went to check Bahamut Spot. He thought the Mirage Radar would be where Path to the Void for the Elder Branch.
Yeah,
that's possible. Yeah, he doesn't have that piece of information, but no, the Elder Branch is available without hint.
Luckily for him, most of the World 3 checks are locked away, so he won't spend a lot of time looking through World 3 checks, so he actually should stumble upon the Elder Branch pretty quickly. Meanwhile, Windfox has all the hints that he needs, but he's missing that North Mountain. I think it was Tablet 3. So he could potentially go down a bunch of rabbit holes in World 3 because he has a lot of the pages, and he'll get that submarine key from either Fork Tower directly, or well, actually, I think that's the only thing that can be there now. I think all the other key items have been found.
Yeah, because the Tablet 3 and 4 are both without hint. So yeah, Windfox will also look for those. And he finally beat Pyroballs with the Mute Blade strat, so pretty slow because you have to kill one by one. Got the Moogle suit, whereas Garlyle just finished up beating Stalker. Stalker can be really scary, but it went fine.
Yeah, luckily this is at the Antlion spot, which is normally a low HP spot because you don't have a full party to fight Antlion with. So it is pretty quickly dealt with.
Yeah, that's Tool Pass is a spot you check as soon as you get to Wall 3 because it has low HP, it's easy to access, it's available as soon as you get to Wall 3. It doesn't have a lot of HP, so yeah, unless caves are barren, you will do this. Yeah, same as Jackal Runes. This leads to Odin's check, which is exactly the same. It's available as soon as you get to Wall 3. So unless caves are barren, you will do it. It's an easy check. I mean, you would do it unless you have hints, and we do have hints.
Yeah, right now I think Garlyle's just gonna go through, maybe in descending or world order, all the remaining checks that he has. And here's Minotauros. So Garlyle did purchase a assassin dagger, but this is a low HP spot because it's a timed fight, so he might just choose to. I don't know if he has throw equipped. Even if he doesn't, he can easily re-equip it.
I mean, a ninja always has throw.
He doesn't have ninja on right now. He is
has.
using samurai.
No, that's ninja. This helmet is the ninjas, right?
That is the samurai.
Really? It's summon.
By the way, gets dealt with.
Yeah, that's ninja. And 7-4 means he can now use Odin without Conjure. And access is down on Windfox screen, so Windfox is also getting access to Wall 3.
So Garlyle is going to take care of the Shiva spot here. I don't remember what's here. Not that it's going to be of much consequence. It's such a low level at this point that it's just going to be dealt with very quickly.
Alright, so Soul Cannon is going to be really quick because we have Bolt 3 Sword, or we can just one-shot it with a Brave Blade. Yeah, we can also do that. But that's a ribbon and the pyramid page. I hope Garlyle doesn't go to the pyramid because of that.
And it does look like he is going to go there, so...
Alright, so Windfox, Cats, Gill Toss, Chicken Knife, Brave Blade, along the way. Dancer with Chicken Knife, yeah! That's going to do a lot of damage. But... Alright, so Garlyle does go to the pyramid. He is welcomed by the Guardian Crystals. He can one-hit KO the crystals with Odin, which he can use now with 7-4.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategies that you could use to deal with these. And it looks like Windfox is going straight to the shrine, so... both our runners kind of going in the wrong direction, but you know, they're gonna get some gear out of it, so it's not all bad.
Yeah, so 8,000 damage sword dance with the chicken knife. Is the Mimic Fight randomized in among the boss fights? Yes, Gogo the Mime is randomized, and we saw him earlier.
Yeah, it is. The Mimic Fight is not timed wherever you find it. So Gogo will still operate as mostly the same, except it just won't be timed. However, the spot that you normally find Gogo in is the timed spot. So sometimes you can run into some problems if you don't have a lot of damage. You might find a boss where you have to damage it down, such as, for example, maybe Leviathan. You just have to damage the HP spot down.
Yeah.
And you may not have enough damage to do it in time, so that is a concern.
Yeah, like Necrophobe or Leviathan in Sunken Wolf's Tower can be really tough. Because not only the boss can be hard, but you have to kill the boss before you run out of time.
Yeah, and these trips that there's an Aegis shield. That's a really nice find. Aegis shield. Many people have their own opinions, but I think most would agree that that is the best shield in the game because it prevents stone status and can block spells.
Yeah. So in terms of pure defense, Crystal Shield are better. But in terms of utility, Aegis shields are better because they kinda act like ribbons, but more jobs can equip shields than ribbons. And we have Flare Sword Magic. This can also be useful.
So right now, both of our runners are looking for some things. Windfox is looking for the tablets that have not been hinted at, which is a little bit of a harder find than Garlyle has, because Garlyle has to find the Elder Branch, and then he knows where everything else is. Windfox has got to find 2 unmarked tablets.
Technically, they're also looking for the submarine key.
Technically, but because we have Path of the Void, hence we know to go to Fork Tower, and we're probably
they can guess that Fork Tower is for submarine key.
So yeah, Garlyle is in a better position once he finds that Elder Branch, but that is located at the ship graveyard, which is not the most tantalizing check to do right now because it does take a little bit of time to run to the end, and you got to do the Torna Canal boss before that. Not that the bosses are hard, but
and the Torna Canal has the Wolf's Tower key. So once you do that, you might actually go to Wolf's Tower instead of ship graveyard. This can be a little bait. Oh, the invisible fight. And we actually got Blue Mage.
Yeah, I remember, I think Blue was at the Walls Tower rewards.
Water Crystal reward? Yep, that's Walls Tower. And Ragnarok. So Ragnarok is the sword you normally get by defeating Shinryu. That's the most powerful sword. So since we have knights, we can equip and use it. So yes, upgrading your Brave Blade to Ragnarok certainly makes things a little comfier. And it's Byblos. So Byblos can be one-hit KO'd and is also weak to fire. Yeah, so we're using Fire 3 Blade instead of Flare Blade.
Goodbye.
Yep, that's an instant kill since Byblos is not heavy. This is the end. But the seal of my master still lives. Oh wait, you already beat my master. Oh, well, goodbye then. And all this for a Slumber Sword. So now Garlyle knows he has to go all the way back. He has to look for his
So I think he
Elebrand.
has Moogle Waterway left
in
and
Warframe.
Torna Canal, obviously. But aside from that, I think that's it.
Yeah, he's going to Moogle Waterway. But I think Moogle Waterway will give what? A strength suit?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. And Garlyle has reached the point where he is no longer checking chests.
Yeah,
There's a point where you have so much equipment that you don't even need to open anything anymore.
I mean, you have Ragnarok, Brave Blade, Chicken Knife. You can basically deal with anything. Like you can equip it to a dancer for powerful sword dance. You can equip it to a magic knight to combine it with holy sword or flare sword. You can equip it to a knight with two-handed or X-fight. So yeah, we have powerful equipment. We also have mix, guildars. Basically, we are only looking for mimic or freelancer, but those wouldn't be in chests in this kind of areas. Like you'd have to look at higher tier locations, like what's left, trench, falls, and the void.
Yeah, but even so, with the amount of stuff that Garlyle has, I guess you'd still maybe want to look for white, maybe.
Yeah.
Because the challenge now is you're not thinking about Neo X Death because he's already got what he needs for that.
You're thinking about the void bosses.
Yeah, so they can be easy or they can be hard. We have kind of a mix of what's left on stuff that could be a problem.
Yeah.
So there's a few that could be really easy and there's a few that could be not so nice. So
well, we haven't seen Catastrophe, we haven't seen Erikanaso, we haven't seen Twintania, we haven't seen Bahamut.
Yeah, Bahamut Void is not fun because he gets full power and boy howdy does he hit hard. And here goes Garlyle doing the play, so if he follows through and does the ship graveyard, which he's doing cleanup, so I would imagine he probably will. I mean, he will get his Elder Branch and be on his way to finishing.
He can also be baited by the Wolves Tower Key.
Luckily, though,
will he get debated? No, he's going in. Yes, he's going in. He's not using the Warp Shard. Alright, so he's going to find his Elder Branch. And while Windfox is already dipping in Fog Tower, so we are actually going to see which bosses are there. Yeah, the fight is easy. That's Ifrit. You can one-shot it with a single attack because the spot's HP is low. And anyway, we would have Ice 3 Sword if needed. So yeah, it's not hard. And that's it. Garlyle can follow the item chain. And the first Fog Tower boss is actually nice. So it's the Sandworm, and we do have Blue Magic and Aqua Rake. So Aqua Rake does 6 times damage on this specific boss. And since it's a AoE attack, you don't have to aim the right target, because if you aim at the hole normally, you don't do damage and you get countered by quarter or demi. But with Aqua Rake, you can just spam it and he goes down quickly.
Yeah, for Garlyle, he will not have Aqua Rake because unless he for some reason does Waltz Tower to get blue, he won't have access to it otherwise.
Yeah, just don't use X-Fight on it. And don't use Meteor either. But like with Flare Spellblade, he should be able to do it quickly. But the second boss is not as nice as the Sandworm. It's Bahamut. So remember, if he dies, he has to climb Fog Tower all the way back again. So Sword Dance does a lot of damage. Jumping with the Dragon Knight will do a lot of damage because it's a dragon, but you get party wiped easily by Bahamut with Mega Flare. So here we go again.
So here's what I would think. Oh, he's got Sing. Does he have this Love Song? Love Song can lock down Bahamut and make Bahamut trivial. So if he has that, that'll make it work. Otherwise, he could do a 3 and 1. You could just send one person with blue on the right side and deal with Sandworm easily. And then have 3 people to deal with Bahamut.
That's true. I didn't know about Love Song. Love Song does confusion, right? Or it's a special effect.
I don't remember. I know. I remember Karma mentioning that it works to. It basically you can make Bahamut basically not do anything with Love Song. Let me look at it here.
I see. Alright, so Garlyle is also climbing Fog Tower. Contrary to Windfox, he will be in go mode after that. I mean, at least he will be in no mode.
Oh, it stops. It's a stop.
So you can stop Bahamut. You also have wall rings. Sorry.
Yeah, that's another option if you have enough wall rings to cover the entire party.
Oh, there's a white suit in Folk Tower. That's good for any mage, especially the white mage. So back to this sandworm using the exact same strat. Oh, I believe that's also Sildra, so we can also use Sildra with Summon 4. That's a good Wind Elemental summon.
Yeah, the nice thing, I guess, in this situation about the Fork Tower bosses is they have much less HP than World 3 bosses because you're meant to deal with them with a smaller party. So you could theoretically just pure damage down Bahamut before he could even do anything. But you know, that there's multiple ways you can deal with it.
Alright, so back to Bahamut, and indeed using Love Song. And spamming jump. So if Bahamut gets a single turn before a Love Song, he loses. But it's going good so far. Flame is alright, we just don't want to see Mega Flare or normal attack. Another flame, that's fine. And the sword dance to get those big damage. And Ferris is down. Will this be enough? And that's enough, he gets through. Whereas Garlyle will use a Tire Mage and a Magic Knight and, well, Submarine Key. That's exactly what we were missing.
So as long as Garlyle can... Okay, good. As long as Bahamut didn't cast a Mega Flare there, I think he's good. As long as this Meteor rolls high enough, looks decent, but it might be another turn.
Yeah, so Garlyle knows that Falls is the final path to the void, since even with the double branch he had, he did Air Valley, which was behind the Mirage Veda, so he knows this was a dead hand, so he knows that it had to be Falls page. So he is in no mode. He knows where everything is.
Yep, and Windfox going to trench.
Yeah.
So we'll get 3 more hints. Not sure if they're going to lead anywhere useful. I imagine there's probably one in there that might, but yeah, Garlyle is going to go straight to the falls.
Yeah, so Falls Tower, no, History Falls, you have to access it with the submarine because you have to go through an underwater cave. If you reach the falls with a chocobo, you will only get a single chest spot, which is the magic lamp spot in the vanilla game. But to access the dungeon, you need to go through the underwater cave. and that's Helicanaso. So I doubt he can get a mute blade right away. He will get the Kururu, and that's a okay, the magic.
He has again. I think I know he has some Genji equipment and one of the Genji items prevents frog.
Or maybe it's the Aegis shield. But anyway, now Helicanaso is under mute. So she can't use Toad anymore.
But with 10k HP, this is not that big of a deal of a fight, and should go down after this.
Yep. It's good to see Helicanaso here.
So I think the worst boss we can run into that we have left might be Twintania, but we have instant death available to deal with that, so
yeah, you just have to survive until the Giga Flare. Oh, Flying Lunkarin's Path to the Void. Thanks, game. Thanks. Cave areas has no Kiobalu, so caves were barren, and you get that in Trench. Alright.
very helpful hints. And the shops in here are terrible as well, so
yeah.
The trench all around is just, it feels bad.
So yes, Flying Lunkaroons was Path to the Void for the Ifrit's Fire. So that also means we had 3 Path to the Void for the same chain.
Lovely stuff. Well, we have Float to deal with Catastrophe, so there he is.
Yeah, so basically you want to use Float and have a party member with a wall ring, so that way Catastrophe will keep using gravity on the alternative, if you did not equip the wall ring, is to keep spamming Float.
Alright, so we've got Gargoyles at the Falls, which is not a terrible fight. It's just you gotta make sure that you damage them down evenly, otherwise it can get really annoying. But I don't think there's really much danger in terms of him losing this fight.
You can also use Berserk. Berserk will prevent the auto revive. I think in one of the matches we saw that. So yeah, they can be turned into stones, so Shout will be useful here. But you have to be quick enough, yeah, so Brex Spell Blade works here. That's done. And that's a big bridge key! The chain is not over! The chain is not over! And welcome Raiders from Franco's Happy. So Franco's RP was a runner in the other match, because there was another match that started 1 hour prior, 2 hours. It was on Speed Gaming, so obviously please do not spoil us the result, since many of us are actually playing to watch the replay. But welcome here.
And there we have Twintania, so Garlyle will just damage Twintania down here. Not that big of a deal. Can do a lot of damage at any spot with some of the abilities, but does not have a lot of HP here. Oh, and it looks like Windfox is going for sunken walls. So
That's one shot.
Um, to answer the question in chat about how this is going, so Windfox has to find a couple of unhinted tablets, which Garlyle found before a long time ago. One of them is at North Mountain. I forget where tablet 4 is off the top of my head. Is that in library? I think it's library.
No, it was a meteor.
Oh, it was a meteor. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was at the Lanka meteor.
Yes.
So yeah. So there's Lanka meteor and North Mountain. The Magisa spot has a tablet. So
yes.
they're quick to get to, but Windfox is just doing much later checks as opposed to doing the earlier ones.
Yeah, so basically, basically only one of the 3 tablets you had to find had hints, and like 3 Path to the Void hints for the same chain. The other hints gave the location of the bracelet and antivirus. So yeah, tablet 3 and 4 are extremely hard, and tablet 2 requires you to get through Forktober and get the full page actually.
Okay, so Garlyle did find Blue Mage, which is a nice little boon, but I'm not sure as to what spells he might have. I don't think Windfox has found Mighty Guard, so that I know White Wind he found, which is a very good spell. But Mighty Guard is the other.
I haven't seen Big Word, but basically, since we saw Trench, Pyramid, and basically we saw all 4 big temples. We saw Mugo Forest and Mirage Village. So basically, we know the Freelancer is here in the Void, or at least the Mimic is. One of the 2 is obviously here. So we will be able to cheese the final boss quite fine.
And yeah, there's the Mimic.
Yep. Freelancer will be better because since we had Knights as starter, the Freelancer will have the Knight's HP bonus. That will help survive better on Neelix's death, but Mimic will also be useful. Like Mimic can equip 3 abilities instead.
So we have Apocalypse, which is a blue mage. He loves learning new spells. He gets so excited when you teach him how to use Exploder that he'll use it immediately, and you win the fight.
Kaboom! Kaboom! Yeah, so Apocalypse. That's why I prefer his other name, Azul Magia, which literally means Blue Mage. Mimic also gets Master HP. Oh, I didn't know. So yeah, Freelancer gets the other jobs status for every job you mastered, and can also equip every equipment, including ribbons. But the Mimic lets you equip 3 abilities, which is correct if you want to get Blue Magic and Time Magic to get Hast and Big Word. And that's Call of History. Well.
Yeah, she's not too terrible. Can be a little annoying, but basically Drain Counter is the only thing you really worry about too much in this fight.
I believe X-Fight can trigger up to 2 counters. Here we were lucky, we didn't get any counter. And I believe, yeah, so Windfox is doing everything locked behind the submarine key. So now we're at Barrier Tower. Unfortunately, Submarine is only required for his faults. Windfox is on the wrong lead here. So yeah, Windfox is using Dragon because we found the Holy Lens quite early. And we didn't find the Berserker, so we can't use his favorite Berserker, unfortunately. But he used the Dancer.
Yeah, I know Garlyle did find Hunter. I don't remember where that Hunter crystal was.
The Hunter, yeah. I mean the Berserker. We didn't find the Berserker.
And down goes Titan on Windfox's side, using Float to avoid that final Earthshaker. And we have Gilgamesh 4. So, luckily, we killed... luckily, what's... I blanking on his name. So
no, it doesn't matter if you kill Necrophobe before. It's the other way around.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, you want to kill Necrophobe first, because that way you can kill Necrophobe faster without triggering Gilgamesh animation. But that's for the Necrophobe fight. Gilgamesh 4 gets interrupted by X-Death if you don't kill him quick enough. Like if you're too slow and just gets to the HP threshold, Gilgamesh will just enter his Gilgamesh morphing time and be interrupted by X-Death, sending him to the void. But we are already in the void. So yep, this is it. The end of my warm-up. Gilgamesh morphing time! From this point and onward, Gilgamesh 4 becomes really weak because he thinks he has the Excalibur, but he actually has the Excalibur, which deals poor damage. So he cannot kill you anymore unless you're really, really, really low HP, and will get interrupted by X-Death. So you're pretty safe.
Yeah, he has the dollar store version of the Excalibur. And we have a little bit of a synchronized Gilgamesh fight on the screen. Gilgamesh 2 and Gilgamesh 4.
Yeah, Gilgamesh stubbed his toe while landing after the jump. He slipped. And Windfox gets his false page. So that's what he needs to get tablet number 2. But then he needs to get tablet 3 and 4 in World 1 without any hints.
I want to point out...
Yeah.
I want to point out that Kara is level 45, which is actually pretty high for running this, because usually you end up around low 40s, upper 50s, but 45 is actually pretty high, which is just goes to show how many bosses these runners have killed.
Yeah, we had to fight many bosses and get many key items. As you can see, looking at the tracker, the only item Garlyle didn't get was the trench page. So, yep. Hey, that means setting up against Neo Exdeath will be easy. You have to mix less Samson powers. So yeah, we are already setting up. And we're not using the Thornlet. Thanks game for auto-equipping the Thornlet.
I think it wouldn't be so bad if the game didn't force optimize after changing your abilities.
I mean, you can also not optimize with the Thornlet. I mean, it isn't even the highest stat you can get. Like, the Thornlet and Bone Mail are literally the traps, the trap equipment during optimization. And that this is Abductor, so this is an easy boss, actually. It is not heavy, so you can instantly kill it with Break Sword, Odin, Exxon, etc.
Yep, and out of all the bosses I can think of, I don't think I don't think Twintania will be.
It doesn't save. It doesn't even save, and that's the triplets.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is mostly fine. You just need to kill all three of them in the same turn.
He has the magic lamp charged to Odin, so he could do that.
He could do that, or he could save it for. Never mind. Did he use the magic lamp or did he use Odin?
He cast Odin. So
right. He got lucky.
The other question is, how much gold does he have? Okay, he has almost enough.
Yeah,
I think that's
you need 148,500 kills to be 100% sure to kill Neo Exdeath. So, like, he's only missing 1,000 gil. So, if he just casts Magic Lamp Odin on Neo Exdeath, he can cut a kill toss, and that's all. So yes, casting Odin was enough, but normal Odin can fail True Edge, and if it does, it will use a Heavy Spear instead. While Magic Lamp guarantees you use True Edge. But yeah, as we said, Garlyle has higher levels than normal, so it came into play here. Like, level 45 plus is enough. And the Void loot is not really good today. Like, Coral Ring, Dragon Whip, meh. Rune Axe, meh. That's could have been better. So we still don't know where the freelancer was, actually. It must have been deeper in the trench after the hints.
So, Windfox taking on the gargoyles at Falls will finally get a tablet, first earned tablet. So I can't imagine he's feeling very good about that, because we're over here at 224, and well, you haven't found a single tablet yet.
Yeah, so right now, the final bosses. So first, we have 3 Exdeaths, which we also call TED. It's an easy phase, it's basically the setup phase. So we first use Life Shield, so we are immune to instant death, so we are immune to White Hole. We cast Golem, so we are protected against physical attacks. And then we're just going to use Samson Power to raise our battle level. So Samson Power raises your power level by 10. So we're just going to do that until we get to level 90 plus. And the Mimic command speeds the process, since you don't have to menu Revivify plus antidotes. Maybe you can use X Magic to get armors or shell, because it doesn't have big guard. But anyway, we're getting set up with our power level, and we're just going to spam Gildos.
Yeah, he shouldn't need any shell or anything like that. He's got more than enough HP to survive one Almagest if it does happen to get off.
I mean, technically, yeah. What I would do though before going to Gildos is if I have a time magic command to just cast Haste on everyone, so that way I'm sure Neo Extest doesn't get any turn. So yeah, you can use Haste Drink. So that's a drop and Total Shell for a Haste Drink. 2 Total Shells gives you armor also.
Alright, so we are in the guild toss phase. Not quite quad 9s on that character, but you know, we're getting close enough.
So now we have to see. That might be one more guild toss for Ted. So we'll have to see if it gets through. Unless he knows he can cast Magic Lamp Odin right away to get rid of one of the 4 parts. Lower level makes guild toss cheaper. Yes, that's true. So Ted gives us our best WHY, and it's morphing time. He calls his older brother Ned, Neo Exteth. What is void? We just don't know. And then I too shall disappear for eternity. Oh,
And in comes Ned. Hidely ho, adventurinos.
Cloud of Darkness is a better final boss anyway. Change my mind. Yeah, so he doesn't use Magic Lamp. I hope he has enough money to finish them all.
One thing to note is that because he used Mimic, he did not equip item commands, so he can't even use Magic Lamp if he wanted to.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
And down goes Neo Exteth. Get your GGs in chat for Garlyle.
So Garlyle finishes with an official time of 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 10 seconds. GG's Garlyle. GG's.
We are joined by Garlyle. So yeah, GG's. What'd you think of that sub keychain?
That was rude. Particularly rude. If anybody could have felt the panic attack I had the moment that I realized, like, wait, I've been doing all these long checks and I left behind the Torna Canal and the waterway.
Yeah, so it was hard because tablet 3, 4, and L branch didn't have any hint for them. So right now, Windfox doesn't even have tablet 3 and 4.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
I was in a panic. I was in a panic state for a lot of that, going like, there's like, I've checked so many places at this point. Like, there's such a high chance that he's gotten ahead of me just off luck, and apparently that isn't how that went.
Yep.
Yeah, and it does look like Windfox has forfeit. So we'll see if we can get him in here as well for an interview. Looks like we are joined by Windfox. GG's.
GG's.
GG.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how did you enjoy the 2 remaining tablets without any hint?
Well, I still don't have them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, without any hints, that's hard. You have 3 paths to the void for the same item chain, but then you're at a loss for the remaining tablets. That's a hard seed, hint-wise. Though you had the Elder Branch quite early, whereas Garlyle was looking for it after doing Exodus Castle. That was the only difference between you two. One had the Elder Branch, the other had the 2 last tablets. But yeah,
The thing that was big is that because Garlyle was looking for Elder Branch, he didn't have access to sub, and because that was his effective go mode, there was a lot less checks for him to make. Whereas you were able to do, the shrine and the trench and all the sub checks before you even thought to get back to the World 1 locations where Magisa had tablet 3 and the Lanka Meteor had tablet 4.
Oh, so literally the last 2 places I was going to go.
yeah,
Since we knew caves had nothing, so that's literally all I had left were those 2 spots, and then the 2 cave checks in World 3, and that was it.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I similarly ended up clearing pretty much everything except those spare sub-tied locations. It just refused to hand me over the sub key. I had to go through everything.
well, the thing is, here at the commentator's booth, since we had all the hints of both players, we knew really early the fog tower would be required for the sub key, because at that point we were only missing 1 tablet and we had 2 active path to the void hints, so we know, oh, it must be either trench or falls because they required a page and the summon key, and one of you had the falls page, the other had the trench page. So yeah, we knew fog tower was for summoning key, but one of you was missing a hint and the other was missing the tablets. So yeah, it was hard. If we put ourselves in your place, it would have been hard to decide which check to do. So yeah.
I do want to go back to World 1. Garlyle, you were following hints for a while, and then you ran into a panda and couldn't take on that fight at the time. So then you decided to prioritize some World 1 checks after that. So I'm curious as to why you were going after the World 1 checks at the time. Because there was still some other hints that you could have dove for, like the Hiryu mountain and stuff like that. So Hiryu Valley. So what made you check World 1 more?
I keep track of things in terms of like potential paths, and as I was looking at my hints, I'm like, I'm pretty certain there are just blanks in my knowledge. Like, there are paths that I don't know, or like key items that I'm going to have to pick up from somewhere I don't know yet. So, like, for the time being, I know that I'm going to have to do those checks eventually anyway, that were a little on the harder end, like the Hiryu Valley and stuff. But I still know I'm going to have to do other checks to try to find stuff yet, still. Was where my brain was basically at. So, whenever I'm in that state, I'll just default to like easy and quick checks most of the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because at first I thought you might have been just doing some World 1 clears for XP to go back to a Panda, but then you were doing some really low-level stuff, which made it apparent that... Because I think you did North Mountain shortly after... I think you did the Lanka Ruins?
Yeah, I've gotten into a habit of going there right after
And then-
Lanka Ruins.
Yeah, and you went to North Mountain, so yeah. You found those tablets really close by to each other.
Yeah, that was basically it. I'm like, okay, I don't know the like chains that lead to all 5 items. I'm gonna have to do some random checks anyway. Let's go.
Makes sense. It is randomizer.
Alright. So, this being said, regarding the tournament, since it was a loser bracket match, it means only one thing. So, congrats, Garlyle, you will keep on going. I'm not going to spoil your opponent since all the match was going at the same time, so I'm not going to spoil the results for all those who wanted to like catch up on the VOD. I can just tell you, you should already be able to schedule your match. However, unfortunately for you, Windfox, this is the end of the road. That was a good run, and I know what I'm talking about. You were against me, you were against Karma. That was a pretty tough branch. So that was a really interesting run, and congratulations. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it ends there.
Yeah, the tournament was fun. I was hoping to go a little bit further, but randomizer be randomizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough seed to kick off too. I was really excited when I saw that night start, and then I get going and I'm like, I have nothing.
Yep. Yeah, we had Knight and then Chemist, and then that was it for like the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I got lucky and snagged Conjure, and then I only picked up Odin out of the sealed castle, and it was like slapping myself a minute later.
Wow, I had Ifrit, Ramu, Odin, so Conjure was mostly worthless. So I felt bad about that.
Yeah, I think Yoichi Bo was dropped off of the Ball Castle boss. Windfox, did you get a little excited when you saw that thing?
No, because all the shopping had no hunters, and we didn't have equipped bow until World 3, so I was like, eh.
Yeah, I stumbled across Hunter somewhere, but it was way later, and at that point I'm like, do I even need the Yoichi bow?
I think you did get the Yoichi bow, you just didn't get the Berserker.
Yeah, that's Windfox's territory, and I am sad to hear I didn't get to face off against that.
I mean, at least you could get the Dancer with some nice equipment, so... Yeah, Dancer is nice.
Yep. Yeah, the Dancer worked out really well. I was unfortunate to not get those red shoes until World 3. I mean,
Yeah.
when the sword dance did hit, it was still hitting for quad 9, so...
I mean, there was a rainbow suit available, so yeah, you could have used that.
Oh, I guess I never found it.
I think it was in maybe Mirage Village, I think.
Oh, I never found Mirage Radar.
Oh, yeah, that makes me think about.
You know,
Yeah. Oh,
you never found Mirage Raider because I believe, if I remember correctly, you haven't pressed A yet because I think it was on the Hear You Call.
yeah. So basically, the Flying Lunka Runes has 2 checks, and you had both Ifrit's Fire, which led to False Page, and Hear You Call, which led to Mirage Radar. That's why Garlyle actually checked Bahamut's spot, thinking it was Path to the Void, but it wasn't.
Ah, gotcha.
It was showed up there. I legitimately sat there for a minute like, do I want to do this? Can I do this? Or do I just leave? Do I risk it?
So yeah, in terms of risking it, when you did the void bosses, you went to Twintenia's spot without saving. That's a boulder play, and you went up against the triplets, and it was like, okay, we were like, you can use Odin with Magic Lamp to ensure True Edge, and you used the actual Odin, and you hit True Edge, and it was like, well, that's gambling.
So Odin isn't actually ever a gamble. Which one it comes off of summon is purely determined by whether every target in the fight is not heavy. Yeah, if every target in the fight is currently not heavy, he will use True Edge and kill everything.
It can miss though, and if it misses, then it will use Heavy Spear. But the chances of it missing were low because you were actually high level, like 45 plus, which is unusual in Randomizer.
Well, there was a lot of clearing that just happened there.
So yeah, you just were not unlucky, but that was a ballsy play to go there without saving, just using Odin like that. Oh well.
Also,
yeah, I normally don't do that without saving, but the boss right beforehand was one I could one-shot, so I'm like, okay, if it goes wrong, I lose like 15 seconds, whatever.
Yeah, Fire 3 sword on Biblos. Yeah.
Also, I want to point out, today I learned something. So I noticed when you did the Ball Castle boss, Garlyle, you transformed him into Ironclaw, and you did not get XP from that fight. Meanwhile, Windfox killed it as the Sergeant and did get XP, so interesting that happened.
Yeah, that was the first time in a long time that I've ended up actually dealing with like Ironclaw transforming, and I had no idea either that he doesn't give experience in that spot. I was a little mad after the work that I put in that I'm like, oh great, I'm still level 3.
Oh yeah, we found Slash super early, so I just backrowed everyone and just let everyone launch a Slash, and he died.
I think I found Slash like 2 minutes later.
Oh.
Yeah, because he was, he was trying to conjure Odin, and it just didn't. It didn't work at first, and then it transformed into Ironclaw, and then went south.
I also learned that Love Song works on Bahamut, and that's the safest play on it.
Yeah, Love Song will make it so he can't cast Mega Flare, and he'll just cast Flame the whole fight.
Yeah.
Which is why you saw me spamming Love Song for the first half of that, and then just
Sword Dance.
Sword Dancing for the last bit of damage.
Yeah, imagine failing that Sword Dance and you're in big trouble. But yeah, the Quant 9 worked.
So yeah, but any either of you have any other final thoughts about this seed? Throw it in the trash, I assume.
Yeah, more or less. I'm still happy with the result, given how much of a mess that seed was. But still, throw that seed in the trash. I was joking before the run that I had a 2 hour 1 minute seed last night as a practice run, and I'm like, well, there goes all my luck. I was right.
All right, so if no one else has anything to say, we have one match left for this round. It's the other loser bracket match. It's Malchus versus Slagaholicos. It's happening tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST. So yep, don't miss that match either. It will be the last match that should be restreamed on the Randomania channels. So stay tuned, and we will see you all later. Thanks you for watching. Don't forget to follow the runners. And we will see you later.